Everybody loves Elden Ring. You love Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring. Probably one of the videos recommended on the side over here is all about how much they love Elden Ring. Some people even say it's the GOAT. The GOAT. The GOAT loves Elden Ring. But this is a critique, so what do I have to complain about? Well, not a whole lot actually. The game's great. Not 10 out of 10, oh my god, Elden Ring is a masterpiece that changed my life and now I believe in the two fingers great.
The fingers.
But more like a super duper fun Souls game with a couple big gaping problems that deflates the overall quality. But man, there's so much quality here, so much stuff, so much content, it's fantastic. The dungeons, the enemies, the build variety, oh boy. There's so much genuinely fantastic stuff here. But at the same time, after playing for around 6 hours, I knew where things were going. It was going down the same road all games with open worlds go. Reused Content Avenue. Elden Ring is just so big that even though there's never been a Souls game with this much content, there's never been one with this much padding either. It tries to brute force its way out of the problem by having tons of everything, and it kinda got close to pulling it off. Definitely the best attempt I've seen a game like this get. But still, the reused content is all over the place, it's hard to ignore. And we can put all the blame squarely on Elden Ring's big new exciting feature, the open world. See, the thing is, there's not quite enough stuff to reach the same level of, differentness like in the other games. But when you're exploring one of those, you're pretty much never going to run into something like these wooden shacks. Now, they're nice wooden shacks, very dilapidated looking, but they get reused all over the world. Right down to the last plank of wood. They're identical. And there's always two of them right next to each other. One has its walls blown off, and the other is sealed shut. This has got to be a weird technical limitation, but that doesn't make it any better. You know, you're exploring, having a good time, then you see a funny looking building in the distance, so you go check it out. And it turns out it's another set of wooden shacks. Same as always. It's just so artificial, it completely takes me out of the mood. And it's even a little worse, because there's always a good item in here. So, I don't know. Feels even more fake. It's just so artificial, it completely takes me out of the mood. And it's the same exact thing with these stone coffins. Copy-pasted throughout the whole wide world. Honestly, if this is how they've gotta look, I'd rather not have any stone coffins. Okay, but a couple 100,000 wooden shacks. A few million stone coffins? Is it really that bad? No, not really. But it makes the world less interesting, that's for sure. Although the world, you know, the big place, the lands between, well, it's incredible. Like, it's genuinely impressive just how much stuff is here. I could pick any direction, go out to any point in the map, and just start wandering. And in less than a minute, I'd find something that catches my attention. And while I'm heading over there, 3 more things grab my attention. And going to each of those reveals 3 more things. And those reveal even more, and oh, there's another wooden shack. And what really makes this so fun is that you'll hardly ever be going in a straight line. You know, the topography of the lands between is totally bonkers. This isn't your average flat open world that's happy to borrow from real life. This world is shaped like a horrible ocean storm spontaneously fossilized into an island. It's all lumpy and bumpy and has really steep changes in elevation. Like, the ground is flat for a bit, and then all of a sudden there's a sheer drop-off. I love everything about this. It just works on so many levels. Fun to look at, interesting travel decisions, giant buildings remind you where to go, lots of hidden stuff, it's great. I'll always love how Dark Souls was this wacko, garbled mess of places all stacked on top of each other. But for a more traditional open world, Elden Ring has a good thing going. And do you want to know the best thing about it? No map towers. Yeah, that stupid cliche is nowhere to be seen. The people at From Software thought of everything. No map towers to climb. I mean, visually, I like Horizon's take on the map tower. Mechanically, I like Breath of the Wild's take on the tower. But I like Elden Ring's take on the tower best of all. No towers. For Limgrave, the Lakes, and Caelid, I'd say they all hold up to this ridiculous level of quality. I wish I could say the rest of the areas are just as good, but they aren't. I mean, to be fair, the majority of the open world is great, and Death Mountain is pretty good too. But once you get to the Altus Plateau, the quality takes a huge step down. It went from being so good to just good. For one thing, the topography is weaker than the other areas, and this is where the game starts to really struggle with reused content. Not saying it was perfect before, but there's not that much new here. As long as you explored the other areas without rushing through them, the plateau won't have a lot of surprises. Godric? What are you doing here? Margaret, too? Oh, that's just Margaret again. Well, I'm stronger now. I can take him. I still explored most of the plateau, though that was mainly because I needed to get artificially stronger to survive in Snowland 1 and 2. Now, I'm gonna clump these last areas together because they're the same when you get down to it. They're two of the most boring areas in Dark Souls history. The topography that teased all that stuff in the distance is gone. Finding new things is out of the question. Everything that made the other areas good is just not here. Although it has good graphics. Yep, still has those. And the worst part about this is that the dungeons you find here, well, they aren't even here. They're out in the middle of the ocean. So there's pretty much no reason to be here. We could have skipped all this and went straight to the good stuff, which is just so lame. I mean, I thought the point of having an open world was so that things could be connected in the world. Kinda like how Stormveil Castle did it. Although come to think of it, is it just me or did the dungeons feel isolated somehow? Like they're in their own bubble? I mean, when you're heading to a dungeon, everything around you is open and kind of featureless, but I mean, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like it's been the whole time. Maybe right before you get to the dungeon, there's a couple of guards. There's a couple of guards and a bastilla in the middle of the road. Nothing too different. And then bam, the environment changes completely and we are in a dungeon if I ever did see one. There's this weird lack of transition from the outside world to the inside, because there's almost no transition. You know, we're suddenly in a different area. It's extremely detailed, closed in, there's good items everywhere, and it's very different than what was going on a second ago. Now, at least for the Magic Academy, this isolated otherworldliness works in its favor. But for other places like Leyndell and the crumbling Sky City, it doesn't work as much. And that example I gave with the bastilla in the middle of the road, that's about as good as the transitions get. The thing that's really weird is the other games were way better at this. Even Dark Souls 3, which wasn't the best at transitions if I remember right, it still did a good job about it. Like there's this one dungeon called the Cathedral of the Deep, and the area right before there is every bit as complicated and detailed as the main event. You go through a graveyard filled with zombies that puke maggots. There's an optional lower section with maggot monsters, of course. And right outside the cathedral, you get to walk on part of its roof and deal with some of the faithful. Then you go inside and keep on exploring. There's no line that clearly separates the two areas. It's not some other world with different laws of reality. It's a continuation from one area to another, to the point where the cathedral almost doesn't even feel like a dungeon, but just another place. And since part of the appeal of an open world is that it's not going to have you select which level to play next, but instead you actually travel to the next level, you go through the space that only gets implied in other games, it helps them feel a bit more grounded. A little bit more real. Of course, teleporting kind of defeats the point, but what I'm saying is when Elden Ring's dungeons feel more like individual levels than they feel like a part of the world, that's a bit disappointing, especially when the other games were better at it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on the dungeons. No way. They're the best part of the game. They're the main reason I like Elden Ring as much as I do. If anyone tells you Elden Ring has bad dungeons, they're crazy. These are some of the best in the series. And the series is known for having some of the best level design you can find anywhere. Well, more people know it for being hard. But it should be known for just how incredible its exploration is. It's been fantastic since the beginning, and Elden Ring continues to nail it. The dungeons have everything you'd want. Secrets, shortcuts, secret shortcuts, pathways that loop back around to the checkpoint you rested at 20 minutes ago, dried up corpses tantalizingly out of reach, treasure, ambushes, rooftop shambling galore, the whole shebang. Elden Ring's got it all. And thanks to this new jumping thing, The dungeons are even more impressive than usual. They've got all this verticality now, and it really grounds them out. Like Stormveil Castle. Stormveil Castle is something else. It might be my favorite level they've ever made. Or that might be Leyndell. Or the sewers. The sewers are amazing too. But Stormveil, yeah. I mean, you can explore the whole castle. You can go on the rooftops, and then if you want to, you can go all the way down to some sludge pit from hell. And you know, if that wasn't enough, each one of these sections is fully fleshed out. You know, you're not going on a single path that takes you up and down the castle where you get to see all the pretty sights like you're on a guided tour. No, it doesn't work like that. You get to explore it in the most explory sense of the word. You can jump through windows for alternate routes, jump over guardrails to find secrets, and jump off one pathway to reach another pathway. Stormveil would be fantastic even if you couldn't jump, but it would lose so much without it. Like these holes in the wall. In the other games, they would only be for decoration. But when you can jump through them to reach other parts of the level, what's not to like? And also, I gotta say, can we give the people who decorated these dungeons the praise they deserve? Each one of these tumbled bricks, the paving in Bowser's castle that's just lopsided enough to look disturbing, the books carefully scattered across this table. Look at it. It's such a perfect mess. And then there's these buildings, and Leyndell, all of Leyndell, it's just so beautiful. And I don't know how they did it, but the level designers made the dungeons feel like real places that people could have actually lived in. As long as you accept that we're literally in Fantasyland. Now, the Souls games have always had believable spaces, but they usually leaned more on the abstract side of things. Makes them feel off kilter. And so for Elden Ring going in a more believable direction, that makes it more believable. Like, why is this ladder here, right? The conspiracy part of my brain tells me maybe this is here because early in development you couldn't teleport inside of a dungeon. But the other part of me thinks, hey, this would be useful for a random character. The only other way up here involves a heck of a lot of rooftop shambling, so a ladder here makes sense. And another thing that helps with this is how huge the dungeons are. They're really spacious, and there's not a lot of narrow corridors either. But there are plenty of nice rooms where you could eat some soup. And in Leyndell, people could actually use the main street without getting run over. It's more than wide enough for these huge coffins. Can't say the same about those carriages in Bloodborne. I mean, sure, they look cool. They feel like they should be here, you know what I'm saying? But these carriages barely fit in the road. What were they supposed to do? Run people over? Mow everybody down on the street? Oh, you know, that doesn't sound too far-fetched, actually. Bloodborne cart? When? I could keep gushing about Elden Ring's dungeons for hours, but all I really have to say is FromSoft are on fire with the level design. My only slight personal nitpick with them is that I wish there were 1 or 2 less checkpoints. I just never felt desperate for one. Whenever things were rough, there was always a checkpoint around the corner. Usually when I found one, I'd go, oh, dang, a grace? I was just thinking about that. Nice. They never gave me that emotional oomph like the other games. Like, you know, in Dark Souls, every time I found a checkpoint, it'd be a huge relief. All the tension and stress from exploring the area would wash away. So when I was playing Elden Ring for a while, at first I thought, well, duh, it must be you, Indy. Clearly, I got too good at the Souls games. But then I remembered that 2 months before Elden Ring came out, I played Bloodborne for the first time. And yeah, probably didn't get too good. Now, I've only made it to the Haunted Forest, so I don't know that much about Bloodborne yet. But I do know it's way more stingy with its checkpoints. I only needed to go to the first area, and I was already feeling it. Where the heck are my checkpoints? You see, Yharnam is this huge labyrinthian city, and somehow I think it only has this one checkpoint. One. This little lamp right here. So I had to struggle, and die, overcome challenges, and die, make it deep into unexplored territory, and die, and do everything all over again. Until after doing this for a while, I finally found my way to the other side of this gate, which opens a huge shortcut back to the first checkpoint. You can basically skip half the level with this. Whew. Elden Ring just doesn't have that type of struggle. Its pathways aren't long enough or dangerous enough to get me stressed out. It's kind of a bummer that the ebb and flow of stress and relief is gone. But I'll be honest, I see the benefits of toning it down a little bit. Fewer TVs fly out windows, Controllers don't spontaneously snap in half. People get less frustrated and have more fun. Sounds pretty okay, I guess. But it's not like there's anything wrong with the other games being a bit more harsh. I'm a big fan of it myself. But does anyone really like spending time running back to a boss after it kills you? Anyone? Put that down. Yeah, exactly. It stinks. So I think we can all agree that loading next to a boss's front door is a nice change. It cuts away a lot of pointless frustration, running along the same pathway, passing the same things again and again until you finally beat them. I can't say I miss doing that in Elden Ring. Though, as nice as this is, it does come with a few side effects. Main one I'm thinking about is how the level designers don't have as much of an incentive to make shortcuts to the bosses. And that worked out so nice for that one spot in Yharnam. But if you could respawn next to the boss whenever you die, I'm not so sure they would have made a shortcut like this. But man, even a quick run to the boss can get annoying after a while, so I kinda prefer the way Elden Ring does it, to be honest. Bless you, you little car ornament, you. I know this is starting to make Elden Ring sound a little on the easy side, and in some ways, yeah, it totally is. Spirit summons are easy mode, and I'm proud about using them when I felt like it, okay? But in a few other ways, this is one of the hardest Souls games. I mean, have you seen these enemies? Some of these guys are so scary. Oh my god! I ran away whenever I saw one. That is not something I did in the other games. Well, not as much. There just aren't as many murderous fiends out there. Like in Dark Souls 1, the number of dangerous enemies that really made you stop and reevaluate the situation was about 3. Plus 1. Damn those evil frogs. Long as we're not including the bosses that get demoted to baby status, those are about all the enemies you gotta watch out for in DS1. Elden Ring though. Oh boy, where do I even start? Lions and more lions and bears? Oh no. I was going to blurt out a huge list with all the dangerous enemies I could think of, but I'll just show you this instead. And all of these guys, they've got like a million moves, at least one cinematic moment, and no sense of honor. Come on, give me an obvious opening already. I'm not that good. And you're not gonna believe this, but they're just the chumps you find strolling around. The boss fights are even worse. They're so fast and aggressive and jumping around and doing all sorts of stuff, I feel like they could be enemies from DMC. Most of them are so agile they can basically fly. Sometimes they literally can. And of course they all have a second phase where they go berserk. These guys are like Dark Souls 3's bosses on steroids. And they were already on steroids. So this is... This did not put a smile on my face, I'll say that. Though I didn't have too hard of a time thanks to the spirit ashes. They made it very manageable for me. Would have been nuts without them. Okay, but what do I have to say about the boss fights? Let's see here. Yeah. I like the boss fights. They're cool and stylish, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. I'm on Team Margaret. You rock, Margaret. Woo! But it is weird that for a game with well over 100 bosses, I can sum them all up in one sentence. They're all fast, reflex-based, test of skill. That's what they're all like. Seriously, the only fights that aren't like this is the first phase of Renala and the Ghost Boatman. Yeah, a guy in a boat. We can fight a guy in a boat. Elden Ring is the greatest game of all time. But yeah, just these guys. Elden Ring has 1.5 boss fights that aren't about reflexes. 1.5. 1.5. All the rest of them are firmly in the speedy action camp. I like to call those guys spicy bosses. Now, I'm not saying spicy bosses are repetitive or anything like that at all. They can be really, really different. I mean, there's no way anyone's going to get Radahn confused with Godfrey or Malenia confused with the big man. But they all have you go through the same process of learning their attacks, dodging those attacks, and punishing them when there's an opening. Even though they're great fights, when this is the only flavor in the game, they lose some of the potency of that eye-watering punch. So I think no matter how much you love spicy bosses, even if you hate, and I mean despise, any other kinds, it's in your best interest to want a couple oddballs. Because even if they aren't the best, or the most mechanically interesting, or the most challenging, or the most whatever, they act as a palate cleanser. You know, something different to shake up the monotony of pure spicy hot sauce. If there were just a couple more weird boss fights like the Boatman, that would have helped the rest of them really pop. Although Elden Ring does show just how much variety you can get out of spicy bosses. Like Margaret, right? He feels different than all the other Souls bosses I've ever fought. And that's probably because he has all these weird delayed attacks, which makes him so hard. I cannot stress that enough. And he's technically the first mandatory boss in the game. When I tried to... Wait, what's his name? Margaret, right. Anyway, this guy. My early attempts at killing him were a disaster. Oh, he's doing something? Here it comes. Is he ever gonna come down from there? Oh. So, after getting pounded for a while, I figured out what most people figure out and got the hell out of there. It's pretty clear that's the intention. Margaret's as tough as he is, so people learn that they gotta get good. They gotta leave and go explore the world until they're stronger. Yeah, that's what I meant. It's not only him. There's at least 2 more sting holes out there that check if you're tough enough later on. The tree sentinel guarding Leyndell is the worst. The hardest boss in the game, right here. I was getting one-shot by almost everything. Not fun. So unless you want to grind all the time, or you're just that good, the only sane way to get stronger is to do a lot of the side content. You know, you'll get points to level up, find spirit buddies, upgrade materials, and good talismans if you're lucky. Those can come in real handy. I mean, raises maximum HP, stamina, and equip load? Who wouldn't want that? So you have some fun and make your character stronger at the same time. Win-win. For my first 36 hours, all of this was magical. I was going around finding caves and catacombs, going to huge impressive dungeons, looking at the pretty graphics. Everything about this seemed perfect. Until reality came crashing down. It turns out, like all games with an open world, Elden Ring has one particular problem. Samey, repetitive content. Lots of repetitive content. So much repetitive content, this might set a record or something. It took a while before it really started to bother me though. There's just that much stuff here. I don't want to sound like I don't recognize the magnitude of what the people at FromSoft made. The game is massive, with massive amounts of good, cool stuff that I really like. I mean, I didn't even mention how incredible the enemy designs are. We've got T-Rex dogs, snowman angels, iron maidens on wheels with chainsaws, little gray men from the moon. The creativity on display here, it speaks for itself. The game has more than enough content, that's not the problem. The problem is that there's so many caves, so many mines, ruins, magic towers, heroes' graves, catacombs, whatever those are, minor Erd trees, and all that stuff. It's too much of a good thing. The world is just too big. It demands way too much. And even with the gargantuan amount of stuff at Elden Ring's disposal, when faced with a world of this scale, it collapses under the weight of it. There wasn't anything else to do but reuse content. Most of it is enjoyable, but it's kinda boring and forgettable. I wouldn't call any of it bad, except the magic towers. Those are bad. Bad, 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 bad. Especially the Tower of Sauron. That was wicked. Wow. But the rest, well, I've never said, man, I can't wait to do that mine shaft on my second playthrough. The best that happens is, oh, that was better than I thought it'd be. The side content just doesn't have a lot going for it. If it wasn't for the good items, they'd be kinda pointless. They don't have cute little puzzles like the shrines in Breath of the Wild, or a snippet of story like The Witcher 3. All that happens in the side content is the same framework they've been following for the whole game. It's repetitive visually, structurally, temperamentally, and psychologically. What happens is you run through a linear path that sometimes branches off, leading to an optional room or two. You kill enemies along the way, get a manipulative jolt of dopamine when you find a cool item, then fight a boss you fought a bunch already. Leave, repeat. They give you the same scenarios, just arranged a little differently. And yeah, there's a few exceptions. Some of this stuff stands out as being way better than the rest. And they're hip, it's great. But really the only side content that's reliably good are the catacombs. They actually make you use your head. They present different situations and ask you to pay attention to the environment. They're not about walking down a straight line like most of the side content. They get creative and have you tackle them in ways the other areas just don't. Though there are some duds, but there's a lot of memorable catacombs too. Like there was this one where halfway through it started to repeat itself. That was so confusing, you have no idea. And there was this other one where the walls were all fake. It's a bit of a shame all the catacombs look the same, and the main enemy you'll find here are imps. But they're cute, so it's hard to get mad. This is how you do side content. It might only be a bunch of reused assets taped together, but it's taped together in ways that make you play differently. It's great. I only wish they didn't all have to end with a boss fight for some reason. That's the last thing Elden Ring needed. More boss fights. Which means more reused boss fights. And I mean, I like these bosses. I haven't met one I don't like. Crucible Knights, Watchdog Guardians, they're all cool. So enjoyable. But after a certain point, the amount of reused bosses, it gets a bit excessive. Like, did we really need to fight 2 Crucible Knights at once? Or fight 2 gargoyles? Or 2 pumpkin heads? Or, well, you get what I mean. Even if they're the best enemy ever, after the game makes a big deal about them, putting them in the spotlight, telling us this is a boss battle, this is a big deal, and it does that constantly for the whole game, it kinda has the opposite effect and starts to make none of them feel special. Like the first time I saw one of the many tree spirit worm things, I thought, wow, this is awesome. And it is, just look at it. Which turned into, this is great, into good, into, okay, maybe there's too many of these guys, into why? Why isn't the world a little smaller? Why does everything need to end with a boss fight? Why are there so many dragons? Why do some of the big baddies with a cutscene get reused? Was that really necessary? I thought they were supposed to be special. Like the other mini bosses or whatever you want to call them. You know, of course, even in the best case scenario, we'd see plenty of them. But the shard bearers, the guys with the chunk of the Elden Ring, the magic MacGuffin? No, don't do that. That's going way too far. It's stuff like this that really takes away some of the mystery and wonder out of the game, and replaces it with, I wonder who will be this time? Magic cat statue? Or electric cat statue? Or, holy moly, what the hell? Elden Ring is just so huge that it had to take what would have been special in a lot of other games and copy-paste it until it turns into filler. So when you're exploring the big wide world, it's not a world full of mysteries, it's full of things you've already seen. Now, I want to clarify, there are surprises out there. Like I said towards the start of the video, there's tons of random little things to check out, and sometimes that includes a whole new world underground. Multiple times, there's quite a few of them. The Deep Root Depths is my favorite one. But it's awesome, it is. But that doesn't make all the repetitive stuff go away. Open worlds. They're too big for their own good. Someone should kill the concept before anyone else wastes their time making another one. FromSoft proved right here, it's literally impossible to make a world this big and fill it with meaningful content. They got close though. If only it was smaller. Anyway, when's Breath of the Wild 2 coming out?